Hello, 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 beautiful people. My name is Nathaniel J. Carrasco. This is the Sky Media Ventures podcast. I'm your host. Today we have a very, very special guest. We have a great friend of mine, young entrepreneur, beautiful lady. Her name is Kirsti. She has her own podcast, Risk It with Kristi. She's on the show today. We're going to be talking to her. Kirsti, thank you for coming on the Sky Media Ventures podcast.
For sure. Thank you for having me. I feel so blessed to be here.
Absolutely. Kristi, we've been friends since we first met. We kind of hit it off right away.
Immediately.
And I've always noticed something very special about you. You got a glow about you. You got to shine. Whenever we're doing business together, you and I, especially with other parties involved, they feel more at ease. They feel more at ease talking to you.
Thank you.
I just think you have something, you have a natural personality, but you also have some smarts too. And I think some of the listeners too want to kind of learn a little bit about Kristi and maybe how they can get better too,
That is amazing. Thank you so much, first of all. That is very keen and it's very sweet of you, so thank you.
Yeah.
And same with you. You're 100% a people person, which is why when we met, we hit it off immediately because it was very easy to go back and forth and to connect. So I'd love to hear about your how you've gotten like that. But for me, in general, I'm Kristi. I'm Risk It with Kristi.
What is just someone's watching and they're okay. You got this beautiful lady. What is Risk It with Kristi? What is that? Tell us about that.
So Risk It with Kristi was born actually this year, January of this year. I had worked 10 years as a financial planner, financial advisor for the big firms. And I was just very unhappy for a very long time. I didn't feel like I had partners that I 100% had a good fit with.
Okay.
And I just realized that the portion of the job that I loved was helping people and not so much the bureaucracy and the, politics that come with big corporate.
Sure. Yeah.
So
you like to help people and not get involved in all that bureaucracy, like you said, all that paperwork drama. If it's not helping the person, what are we doing?
yeah, big corporate can definitely just make the job harder than what it is. And the part that I liked about the job, I just, it came to me one day that that's the part that I want to do is the coaching part, the holding your hand, asking you, what are your goals? So it wasn't, Risk It with Kristi was born not just to do financial coaching, but it was born as a movement of, Kristi, you've been so scared your whole life. You're moving into this like big new world. The world is your oyster, blank canvas. What do you want to do? What are you going to do? And it's exactly that, to inspire people to risk everything on yourself and go after your dreams and go after your goals. And a huge part of that is finances. So I mix, the strategy of a consultant, I mix the depth of a coach, and then I also mix that magic in between of psychology and personal development and personal help to help you achieve your goals in business, achieve your goals in finance, and just inspire others to do the same.
And we
long-winded.
Yeah, no, you did fantastic. And we need more people like you because we're information rich but wisdom lacking in today's world.
Love that.
Yeah.
Wow. Information rich but wisdom lacking.
Yeah. Yeah. We're inundated with information, advertisements, media, but where's the wisdom?
Yeah.
And it's people like you who decide that they're going to use their own influence to kind of filter that information to good stuff.
Yeah. Thank you. And same to you. You're the same. You're the exact same kind of person. I know everything you want to do with Sky Media Ventures, and it's very cool to meet another like-minded person.
High five.
High five.
I love that. Yeah, I think one thing I love about your title, Risk It with Kristi. You know what? Can I tell you what I love about it?
Tell me everything you love about it.
When I really went out to be a full-time entrepreneur in June of 2024, I had to risk it. And there was no foundation. There was no parachute. It was like you just had to jump. You just had to go and risk it. And that was defining because I think more people need to hear that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, if you want something, if you want to achieve that dream, that goal, that vision, you got to risk it. And it's so cool that you have a podcast that talks about that. I'm curious though, personally, how did like you even get into like financial services, stuff like that? Like who taught you? Who was your person that like got you into that career path?
So what's funny is that I stumbled into it. It wasn't something that I had ever chosen for myself. I was 100% invested in actually like the medical field and everything to do with the human body, and still that to this day interests me. But I had moved and I needed work, and so I found an ad of a financial planner that was looking for an assistant, an admin, and I was like, okay, perfect. It was part-time while the kids were at school. And
Interesting.
yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah. And it's funny because my dad has always been into investments, always been into the stock, like always listened to all the big, news that put the stock market on, but it never interested me in that way. And money, more like money in the sense of like making money, marketing, stuff like that, always interested me.
Okay.
So I worked with him, and I just saw.
You got the job.
I got the job. I got the job.
Hey, of course you got the job. Who's not going to hire Kirsti?
Thank you. So I got the job, and I just saw how this man lived his life, and he was very much family first, family focused. He did what I always wanted. I always wanted to be a small business owner, big business owner. And so
Well, to get big, you have to start somewhere.
Small, right?
Yeah.
So I was at that time in conversations and in works to open my own daycare. And so I thought that was the business. And I was like, that's not the business. Like, I love kids, but I don't love kids that much. And I'm probably going to get arrested if I have to deal with a million kids that are frustrating me. So
it's the thought and the heart that counts.
Yeah.
You wanted to work with children.
Yeah.
I get you.
I do love kids. It's just, I don't know if I can do that. So anyways, so I got the job. I was seeing his lifestyle, seeing the way he was building a business, and I was learning about money. And I was like, wow, this is something that I never knew anything about. I never grew up listening to good conversations about money. I never grew up with, unfortunately, my parents were so busy working and providing for us that there wasn't really much else when it came to like, hey, this is a Roth IRA. I don't even know how much they knew about all the different, investment vehicles, all the different products, all of that stuff. So I found it so interesting, and I was just thirsty for knowledge all the time of like, oh my gosh, and that plus that, and you can save money, and you can save money here, and like just telling the people around me, hey, this is amazing. You should look at this, and you should look at that. And I was so excited that a lot of the things that I was helping with and a lot of the things that I was learning was directly impacting the people around me and those that I loved. Yeah. And then it just became like infectious, to like learn about money, which is, family, health, money.
Well, hey, money ain't everything, but it ranks right up there with oxygen.
I mean, it is when you don't have financial problems, life is so much better. And that's the beauty of kind of what I do. I loved it, and I love the psychology of money. I've always been very spiritual. I've always been very, just there is psychology wise, there's more to life than just the digits. Sure. And then sitting across from so many different people that ranged in so many different career paths, and then looking the numbers on the screen and listening. I mean, these are deep relationships. Financial planning is a very deep relationship. You're constantly talking to people because you're planning their entire financial life. So I've sat across from lawyers who are broke that drive everything that you would be like anyone would want their lives, surgeons, ex-NFL players, CEOs of very, very big companies, teachers, police officers. We had a client that worked in the deli at Publix her entire life. She was retired with $1 million. Shout out to Publix.
So did she just take the approach of like, okay, if she worked at Publix and she retired with $1 million, she probably had some type of retirement plan that compounded over decades, where she probably just set aside a percentage towards that fund and it just accumulated. I mean, do you know like what investment vehicle she used for that?
Well, so Publix has a program where, and I I'm not going to like use technical jargon here, but basically you can invest in stock in Publix if you work there.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
that grows. So it's a great place to work. They have great benefits. I think I've never worked for Publix.
I've never
It's a
worked
big
for Publix,
but it's a great company. Like,
I
and so
go
the
there
other
weekly.
thing is I recommend always to everyone to read The Millionaire Next Door, because The Millionaire Next Door will also describe a lot of that. If if you live a certain type of lifestyle, you don't have the same keeping up with the Joneses pocket money as someone else.
Sure.
And so that's where you kind of see some of the big lawyers or the big doctors or the big whatever the case may be, and they're riddled in debt, student loan debt. They feel like they have to get into their kids have to get into certain private schools. They have to live in certain neighborhoods. They have to drive certain cars. A lot of those career paths is financial planning too. Real estate, a lot of it is like, look at how successful I am, and that's where you base it off. And also just luxury, and status and what you want to give to your kids and stuff. But your lifestyle then becomes more expensive.
Sure.
And so a lot of people who are more in trade jobs, who are more in like, not these jobs where you have to kind of show off, they can live within their means. They live, and again, not to say, I know a lot of doctors who are successful, lawyers who are successful. I'm just putting out there like it at the end of the day, after sitting across from hundreds and hundreds of people, it never mattered their job. It never mattered the number of digits that I saw on the screen. Mm-hmm. It didn't matter anything. What mattered was, were they happy? Did they have a purpose? Were they constantly challenging themselves? And are they happy and content with what they have? And do they have a good relationship with money? And so, I saw people pass away with their last dollar in their hand. I saw, and the family, they left the family with whatever they were going to leave them, but they spent all their money. People who passed away and they never got to experience anything because they were so scared of going broke. When you tell them a million times, go spend more money, go live your life. And it's just that mentality of lack that they just cannot enjoy the fruits of their labor. So it was
somebody's going to enjoy it.
Well, exactly. And it's 90% psychology when it comes to money, when it comes to those deep conversations, that kind of deep strategic planning. Uh-huh. And that's what I love the most, because that's what I've spent the past 20 years doing to myself, was fixing my mentality, learning how to get better, learning how to, be spoken in rooms that I could have never imagined being in. And so, yeah, anyways, I can talk about it forever, but that's where I just realized it's the psychology of money. It's the relationship with money. It never matters how much it is. It matters in, what do you want out of this life? What are your goals? What is the end goal? How do you want to feel? How do you want to wake up? What is your purpose in life? What is your passion in life? And then let's talk about money. Either it's bringing it in money, like with you, we're partners, marketing, whether it's social media marketing, like just anything, whether it's, okay, we got to strategically plan how you're spending your money on a monthly basis. Yeah. Whatever your budget is right now, that is a historical depiction of how your habits are. And so if you spent money in places that don't really align with the big picture of what you want, mm-hmm. then that's something that we need to review and look over. And so it's just everything combined. And
hey, you can only expect what you inspect,
100%.
So you have to be looking at what's going out, what's going in, and increase the assets that produce the cash flow and decrease the liabilities that have the extra expenses, and then decrease the expenses. But no, I hear you. Like, it's easier said than done.
So easier said than done, and it's very
but a great habit. And some people live like that.
Yeah.
Maybe we should reverse how we're saying that. Maybe it's easier done than said. Just
it is
rewire our brain.
It really is. It is. And it's all about that relationship with money. It's about the anxiety that people get when they go to open their bank account because they're scared, instead of rewiring that to like, oh my God, I'm so grateful for all abundance in this account. And even if it's $1, you're looking at it and you're like, well, it's $1 because the rest of that abundance went to making sure I have light, making sure I have water. And so coming from a place of gratitude, it makes it fun to inspect. Because the people don't not budget because they just don't want to. They don't budget because there's something that rises within them that, it's a disconnect, or they're just fucking busy. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're fine. I think I've been hearing that word so many times this week, gratitude.
100%.
And it's, you're right. You have to have that spirit of gratitude for sure. It plays the money factor. really big. And it plays the success factor. And like acquiring more success. Yeah, I think you acquire more success when you're more often grateful.
100%.
Because you're grateful, you're ready to receive more. You're grateful, you could take on the challenges. God, the universe, they're going to look at you and they're going to say, okay, they're ready for more. I've always heard that if you're blessed with the few, if you take care of the few, you'll be blessed with the many.
Amen.
So I think about that in just having guests like you on the show. We think about that when we have clients, even if they're a small client in Ohio. We just took on a new client in Ohio.
Yay!
Big shout out Eric if he ever watches this.
Shout out Eric. Everyone in Ohio should go look at Eric.
Yeah, Eric. He fixes pools and hot tubs and stuff like that.
Oh, he needs to come to Fort Lauderdale. I need you, Eric.
That's funny. I'm gonna show him this video. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
But even with Eric, small company in Ohio. But you know what? We're going to do the best we can to give him great results, because if you're not careful with the few, if you don't take care of the few, how are you going to be blessed with the quality?
100%.
You feel me?
Say it. Say it. Say it again for the people in the back.
Hey, you got to have faith to call forth those things that be not.
100%.
As though they were.
Amen.
Let's go.
Let's fucking go.
Kristi, let's talk about for a second. You and I went to a Les Brown event.
Yes, we did.
You were the only person in my phone book that would actually drive with me 3 hours to go listen to Les Brown and a bunch of other speakers. How was your experience? Tell me about that.
Well, you were a great host. Thank you so much for the experience.
Of course.
It was great. It was definitely, this year has, I think, been a challenging year for a lot of people. And I was one of them. So it was definitely, it came when it was needed to come. The message was awesome. I felt
so many messages.
So many messages. I have like in my notes, I have all the notes of just things that resonated with me. But it came at such a time that I really felt like this is such a breath of fresh air. And it reminded me that you constantly need to surround yourself with people that live their life that way and that speak that way. And sometimes it's not the people in your direct circle. Sometimes you don't have those, it's always, who are your 5 friends? You'll be the sixth or whatever. I'm horrible with saying.
Yeah, no, I get you.
You get it.
You become your 5 closest friends.
That one. Yeah. Yes. So, sometimes you don't have that in your close circle. You don't have that in your family. You don't have that in your friend group, but you can always tap into that through social media, through YouTube, through your podcast, through, going to a convention like we did, going to conferences or whatever the case may be. There's so many places that you can borrow that kind of energy from. And yeah, anyway, it was great. It was a great experience. I can ramble forever.
No, we love it. The event was, we brought speakers from that event to the Sky Media Ventures podcast.
I know. You're doing the damn thing.
We said,
you do not sleep. You and Kris Jenner, you don't sleep. That's a saying. That is a saying.
I know you didn't just compare to me to.
Listen, she's a boss bitch.
Okay.
So.
Thank you for saying we have good work ethic. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I remember looking at you at the event and I said, hey, Kristi, we could totally create one of these.
Yes, you did.
Locally.
And we're going to.
I think in the future, it would be awesome to create an event where people went to, so hear me out.
Let's do it. Let's manifest it into existence. Today is the 1st.
Okay. We'll manifest it, even recorded so the world can hear too.
Perfect.
What's so difficult about promoting an event where business people can go to?
Mm-hmm.
There could be speakers talking about either their services or just personal development, leadership.
Mm-hmm.
We get some chairs, maybe at a hotel. We promote it using social media, some local ads, and we get people there. And you guys, like-minded people are going to network. They're going to congregate. They're going to want to pick each other's brains and network. I think that's doable. I don't see why that. Maybe some equipment. You need some equipment for maybe a microphone. I don't see why.
It's not difficult at all. We're gonna do it. We're going to do.
Don't you have experience creating events?
I do. I've created many events, especially networking events.
So someone's listening to this and they live in South Florida. They have a business in South Florida. They can reach out to you for some type of networking event consultation.
100%. So I also own a business with my best friend. Another one apart from you.
Let's go.
Claudia, and it's called The Higher Path, and we do networking events, everything for business related. We've put together just a bunch of events, but yeah, it's so much fun. It's our wheelhouse, and we're going to put on the best event.
Okay, gotcha. That's going to be something in 2026.
2026. We're going to lock it in right after this podcast. We're going to lock it in.
We'll start building the foundation.
100%.
Not only do we have to speak it into existence, but we'll start writing it down too.
Yes.
That's like
we'll hold meetings.
Meetings like that. And I was talking to somebody about this yesterday. Mm-hmm. Her name was Eve. She's a therapist.
Okay.
I've talked to her one time before. Very smart lady. I was talking to her and she was saying that one thing that helps convert stuff to reality is speaking it and then writing it down on paper.
Amen.
Have you ever experienced like with the writing down, like writing down in a journal or goals or something?
I am a fierce believer in writing things down. And that's actually funny because I have been so excited for December because I'm going to start planning like the runway for 2026. And I have been feeling this need to write. And
Good.
But I get very attached to like my journals. Like I'm only inspired to write in a journal that is cute and like, for the moment. I can't write new things in an old journal. And I've been looking and nothing's called to me. And yesterday I found my journal. So it's so funny that you say that because yes, you speak it, you write it down, and then
it's like double enforcement right there.
100%. Yeah. And then you fucking execute.
Yeah. And then you try to surround yourself with people who are doing it.
100%. Because you just start speaking it. And then if someone's like, oh, look, I can do that. And all of a sudden, God just starts putting everyone that you need to do what you said, what you wrote down, and what you are pushing through, God will put them in your path. You just have to have faith in what you say.
That's powerful.
100%.
That's powerful. Yeah, speaking it, writing it. It's also cool to look back. It's cool to look back like 6 months ago and be like, wow, I wrote that down and I accomplished that. Or like I wrote that down, it's yet to happen, but it's really cool to write something down and then go back and be like, wow, I can't believe I hit that goal and now I'm past that goal now. But I remember back in the beginning of this year, that was the goal. I was doing that when I was trying to hit certain numbers with my company. I was like, I can't believe I had a goal to hit $2,000 a month in my company, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5. So it's just like, oh wow, that's a great feeling.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to do with money. Let's take the money aspect out of it. To write something down, to friggin' write something down, and then to go out and do it, and then to go back and look at what you wrote down, and then you accomplish that. If that's not positive neuro association to the max, I don't know what is.
I don't know what is.
And sometimes I'll write down even the smallest of goals. Hey, make my bed before I start my workday, and then I make my bed. Hey, shit, like that's. Hey,
but that's so true. I say it all the time, and when people are in a rut, I'll tell them, listen, tell yourself, I'm gonna go brush my teeth, and then go brush your teeth. Just that, or like I'm gonna make a pot of coffee, and then you make the pot of coffee, because it just reinforces the notion of I'm a person that does what I say. And it also reinforces the notion that I believe and I trust that when I say something, I execute on it. And When you do the reverse and you say things and then you don't do them, it's like self-betrayal. And then you don't trust yourself. And that's the worst battle that you can be in,
That I've had to struggle through that, there's been a plethora of things I've written down and then accomplished, but another plethora of things where I've not accomplished it. And yeah, that I hate that feeling.
Yeah.
Because then you get to the end of the day and you're like, shit,
100%.
I didn't live up to what I told myself I was gonna do. Yeah, you're right. Sometimes that happens.
And
that's like a daily, that's like the challenge right there.
That is the challenge.
Against you.
Every single day. And it's also important to give yourself grace. Especially, I think, as like a high achieving individual like you and me are, we sometimes want to put too much on our plate every single day. And we're not going to complain about having a full plate if what we want is to eat, right? But
True. Wow, you're right. That's a good one.
I mean, if you want to eat, don't complain. Your plate is full. It's exciting.
I'm never going to say no to like more money, at this time, at this stage
at this
of my
point,
business,
no. And you
we're taking on more business and we're just figuring out how we can handle that business that we took on.
Yeah, 100%.
So you're right. Constantly hungry. But there's detrimental to that because we're loading up our plate.
Well, it's fine that you load up your plate and it's fine that you try and that you execute, but also if there is something that you've been pushing off or something that you haven't done, just giving yourself grace for the past instead of, I think a lot of people go into this shame circle and it's like, oh, I didn't do it. And then so they create this disconnect within themselves and this discord of like, I'm not even going to try for the things because I don't do what I say and I'm not going to. So give yourself grace when things haven't gone the way that you need to and just realize that you have put forth effort in everything that you want to put forth effort in. And right now, if you want something different, it's going to require something different. And listen, the best time to plant a tree was 25 years ago. The next best time is today. Right. So you just get up and you do what you got to do, But
I love that. Give yourself grace. Like, it's not going to happen overnight. Give yourself grace. There's a saying too. It says, hopefully I say this right. It's like most people or overestimate what they could do in the short term, but they underestimate what they could do in the long term.
I heard that quote yesterday. What is going on? We're like birthday connected.
Yeah. So the audience knows we do have the same birthday.
We do have the same birthday. That's
August Leos.
The best Leos.
But I get, okay. So back to the quote. It's like
people underestimate what they can do in 5 years. No, overestimate what they can do in 5 years and underestimate what they can do in 10 or something like that.
Yeah, but like instead of like 5 years, 10 years, it's like 3 months and like 2 years.
Really?
Because they're trying to do something extraordinary in 3 months. It's like, bro, chill. Take a chill pill. Calm down.
Yeah.
Small bite-sized pieces.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna take I know you want 3 months. It's probably gonna take 2 years. So keep being consistent because 2 years is gonna be here before you know it, but it's gonna take longer than 3 months, and that's a lot of sales jobs right there.
Sales jobs.
My mentor Nick DeLore, shout out Nick DeLore.
Shout out Nick.
He tells me that every time. He goes, every new sales job is 3 to 6 month, even 8 months, sometimes learning curve. And then you start to build your book of business,
Yeah, for sure. I love sales so much, but with sales, it is always, with every job, with everything you do, the first 3 months are gonna, you're gonna suck the most. Then the year is gonna be, you have to get better. You have to refine your craft. I think 3 years. I think people should give themselves 3 years of just all at it and any new interest, as long as it's still an interest, to really feel like they are confident about it. For me, at least, that's been the case. And even though I've been effective and I've learned and, at the 3-year mark is where I'm like, okay, you can ask me anything. You can put me in a room with anyone and I'm good on every scale. And so going into sales, the first 3 years were like, you don't realize the connections that can be made. You don't realize the opportunities. You learn how to recognize opportunities. And that's a big thing that salespeople have is like, you should have jumped on this. You should have said this. You should have,
Right.
We're always looking for blessings as salespeople. We're always looking for if you're good, you're looking for the next, rock to turn over, and it's a hunt and it's exciting and it's a dance and it's flirting and it's psychology and it's very exciting. But anyways, 3 years for me is always like,
the dance. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like that.
It is.
It's an art. I think it's an art and a science, but I think when you're in the presence of communicating with the prospect, with the business owner, with whoever, or the customer, that is the art,
Yeah.
The soft skills.
Yeah.
The soft skills.
It's the soft
Can you
skills.
look at them in the eye? Can you remember their name? Can you do what you say you're going to do? If you said you're going to send them an email after, even though you know that you sending emails is probably a waste of time, but if you said it, you better do as you said.
100%.
Because
that's another big thing.
Some clients will catch that. And then you'll
Well,
try to catch them, like, because you won't send the mess, you won't send the email. And like I've tried this before. Like I've told a client, I'm gonna send you the email. I don't send the email, and then I call them next week, and I'm like, hey, did you get that email? I think I think it went to your spam, and they're like, nope, I checked every day.
yeah.
You're like,
I will
"Great."
say that in sales, you definitely learn that integrity is a part of the job if you want to make it long term, because there is no way to have a rewarding, long-term, successful business in sales if you don't have integrity, because you may be able to be a lot of people think about sales and they're like, oh, and a lot of people in sales are like, oh, I'm not a salesperson. I'm here and I help and whatever. Yeah. Sales is also helping. It's also, this is a service that I can provide to you. This is something that I can give to you, and giving you the education and the knowledge and all of that to want to show you
Insight.
that I have something. And that's the only way that a salesperson can really, again, have a long-term career, is because people start to trust your word, and they start to trust your mentality and your expertise and your opinions. And so a good salesperson can jump from any different field because they've learned the soft skills, they've learned how psychology works, how people work, and they've been able to say, okay, I can sell anything because I'm passionate about it. And you can trust my word now that when I say something is good, it's fucking good. And when I tell you, I recommend this, you should at least hear me out on this.
Right.
It's because I have a reputation of being good at that. I have a reputation of recommending good services. And so integrity is number one when it comes to sales. It's number one when it comes to good business. If you want to be here long term, integrity is everything. But yeah, we all start off doing the same thing, like, oh no, oh my God, I was in my outbox, I didn't know, or you make little excuses of why you dropped the ball here and there. And what people really fucking want is the truth. Hey, yo, I'm so sorry. I knew I was supposed to send you the email. I'm here, because half the time the people that you're working with, they're also struggling. They also didn't send that email.
You can't come off too perfect.
Never.
Or you don't want to come off too perfect.
Ever.
And yeah, I like that too. Be transparent. Be transparent with your customer. If you got to let them know, that you dropped the ball for that day, let them know. They're usually understanding.
And then do better next time,
Right.
which is, again, if you want to be successful in any business and any sales, you have to constantly evolve, and it's sales and really business. Like having your own business is the biggest self-work that you will ever do, because the business comes out of you. It comes from your lacks. It comes from your flows. It comes from your moods and your emotions. And so you have to be able to constantly check yourself.
Such an entrepreneur. That's such an entrepreneur mentality right there. Entrepreneurs, and how you're an entrepreneur and in sales, like Kristi and myself, is things don't happen unless you make them happen. Mm-hmm. When you're an employee, you could show up to work and you can have a bad week and you're still going to get paid $7.99 for that week. You're still going to get paid that. You're still, as an entrepreneur, if you don't move, if you don't shake, if you don't bake, you ain't going to get cake.
For Christ's sake.
Right. Do you feel me up in here? You feel me?
We could just turn this into a whole rap battle.
Kristi, we're coming to the end of our show. If someone's many people are watching this, if you had to talk to them directly and they're trying to achieve their goals, their dreams, their visions, they're like they're wanting the same thing that we want. And they look up to you in some way, shape, or form. If you had to talk to them directly before we conclude, what would you say to them?
Okay. With this one, I'm going to say to you, you know that you are capable of everything. You know you have that spark in you, and you feel it no matter how many times you try to deny it. And it is scary, and you don't know what the next step is going to be. But if you continuously move forward in alignment with your goals and in alignment with your truth, it will continuously open up for you. And I am here, and Nathaniel is here, and there are so many like-minded people out there that you can surround yourself with, even if it's going to a conference with a friend, even if it's tapping into a good book, whatever the case may be. Community brings forth abundance. So tap into your community, write down your goals, speak them out loud, and get your fucking butt moving.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. Guys.
And risk it with Kristi.
Yes, guys, please check out her channel, Risk It with Kristi. Check out her YouTube. We're going to be tagging all your social medias and stuff like that
Thank you.
on our YouTube channel to give her, the respect that she deserves. But Kristi is a great, great friend of mine, great business person. I respect her. Hopefully you guys soaked up a little bit of value of what she had to say here tonight. And guys, don't ever forget, sky's the limit. We believe in you. You got this. And until next time, have a great night. Bye-bye.